Hey you! You stumbled upon this video, that means you're my friend now. Today we're gonna play Intelligent Design, an evolutionary sandbox. This game looked pretty interesting because, science is cool. Spoiler, science is also very hard. Go check it out on itch.io. It's by a developer named Pillbug Interactive. It is a simulator where you create and research an ecosystem in order to further understand their genetics so you can modify them yourself. You spawn plants and animals with portals and place buildings that draw resources from the environment you create. At first, all of the organisms you create will have randomized stats such as height and lifespan, but later we will be able to measure and alter the stats of future organisms. For that, we will need a research station. Here, now I've placed some plants. I like that plant seeds, as in real life, can be carried by the wind from where you place them. I'm glad this game includes those additional environmental factors, such as wind. In fact, under the Graphs tab, wind speed, humidity, and temperature are all displayed. There, I placed a collector. Collectors will gather biomass from neighboring plants you have placed. Biomass is the essential currency needed to construct and upgrade buildings, such as this research station. Similarly to the collector, research stations will do research on neighboring organisms. They can be upgraded using biomass to increase their range and efficiency. Notably, placing organisms does not have a cost, leading to me spamming out new plants as I have just done. Additionally, with no price to rebuild, potential future failure will hopefully be less punishing. Spoilers, some failure is indeed on the horizon. Now this barren landscape is finally sprouting with life. I do find it interesting though that this game does not feature soil quality or hydration, as I would assume stone would not provide the nutrients needed for survival, not to mention it being too tough for the roots to even break through. Ah, look at these cute little guys. That was my genuine reaction to seeing these guys. These are our herbivores. When created, they start as tiny babies, but will grow in size until adulthood. Already, a few are sporting uniquely colored coats. While we still have yet to have enough research to take a look at their genes, this is a cool display of the present genetic variety amongst our herbivores. Speaking of research, I am just now exploring the research tab. Well, exploring is a generous term given the great deal of cluelessness I am displaying, but still. There we go. Since I have unlocked 4 new plant genes, I am now able to identify them in the wild and selectively enhance them in the lab. For now, I just set all of them to max because I made a guess and thought tall plants would be good. That being said, I still don't know what half of these genes do. However, that is by design. This game allows the player to freely experiment and alter genes to better understand them. Unfortunately, complete freedom can often lead to poor choices being made. Spoilers, some of the genes end up making my life worse rather than better. Despite not knowing the potential consequences of my actions, I ended up adding my new creation into the world, hoping they would bring about a bright future for all of us. Nope, not at all, everything's falling apart. But that isn't necessarily the genetically modified plant's fault. Really, it was the herbivores that made this issue. They ate all the plants, and now I'm desperately trying to grow new ones. Otherwise, everything is gonna die. In addition to planting more plants, I also flooded the ecosystem with additional carnivores to remove the problematic herbivores. Right now, I'm looking at the graphs to figure out exactly what went wrong. After this disaster, my score will never return to this absolute maximum. Hey, while I flail around helplessly, thank you for still being here. You've made it to your first mid-video checkpoint. Here I've got your music recommendation of the day. If it's true from Hadestown. My rebuilding hasn't gone anywhere yet, but on the bright side, the carnivores seem to be holding a mosh pit, so at least someone's having fun. Then I decided to summon a black hole of rebirth, which was not nearly as effective as I would have hoped. Rather, it was just loud and obnoxious. So, I decided to just spread them around like normal. Note, I haven't placed a single normal plant in a while. Turning the seed drag gene to full on all of the seeds probably was a bad idea, come to think of it, because now they refuse to accept the existence of gravity. One rebirth black hole later, and now we have this thing. This strange creation. Yeah, I should turn seed drag all the way back down because this is just gonna lag my game. Yep, now things fall like they're supposed to. Let the rebuilding process commence. Things are coming along, but the whole seed drag fiasco got me considering what other genes have been messing with my ecosystem without me even knowing it. So, first I wanted to see if changing the range of their roots would allow them to grow more tightly packed together. I know it may be a little early to reintroduce herbivores to the environment, but I have faith that the ecosystem will be able to support a few. Plus, herbivores are necessary in order to get herbivore-specific research points. With those, I will be able to create weaker, more manageable herbivores. Yeah, that plan died surprisingly quickly. Once again, all of my plants are dead. Now comes the storm of carnivores to exact revenge upon those conniving herbivores. Today is the day where justice shall be served, the day where our enemies will turn in fear, but do not escape. I will never again let those herbivores ruin my plant utopia. I have a duty to protect my plant subjects, and their plant king will serve them nobly. I learned that I can plant plants on the side of this cliff. That's pretty cool. And hey, look at that. Stuff's growing back. As this cool piano music plays, and I likely make the same mistake by reintroducing herbivores, how's about your second mid-video checkpoint? Let's go. The verse of the day is Romans 15 verse 13. Now may the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace in believing, that you may abound in hope by the power of the Holy Spirit. I just unlocked my final plant gene. Now, ideally, I would be able to create the best plants for my ecosystem. Unfortunately, this is not the ideal situation because I'm the player, and I don't know what in the world I'm doing. That being said, look at those graphs. My plant population is finally reaching its previous peak before I first added the herbivores. That's really good. Wow, for once this piano music is actually calming. That's a good feeling. I'm completing objectives, my plants are growing. This is why we do it, folks. Well, it's not like everything is good. My animals seem to be slowly dying out. That probably has something to do with the super plants I was creating being too tough for the herbivores to eat. But to be honest, I'd be good with that outcome. So I think I did my job. I had a little fun and gave it a good struggle, but that's all for this game. So, that's gonna wrap up my first try playing Intelligent Design, an Evolution Sandbox. If you're interested in it, please go support the developer by following the link in the description. Also, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to stick around. I'll be making more content shortly.